Coco Chanel. You could be gorgeous at 30, charming at 40, and irresistible the rest of your life. Gabrielle Bonheur Chanel was born on August 19, 1883, in Saumur, France. To her mother, Jean Duvois, and her father, Albert Chanel. She had 4 brothers, 2 sisters with Chanel that totaled 7. At age 12, her mother died, and the dad ended up selling the 4 boys to farm for labor, and the 3 girls were sent to an orphanage run by nuns. This is where she was able to learn sewing by the nuns, and in the summer she was able to visit her aunts who taught her creative sewing. By 18, she left the convent to start her new life. She worked as a seamstress with her aunts during the day. At night, she would perform as a singer. She was well known for singing coquette, giving her the nickname Coco. She met textile heir Etzeline Baslan, who helped establish her millinery business. She only sold to the social elite. One of her customers was well-known Gabrielle Dauphine, who wore a Chanel hat to a famous theater production. Chanel's name spread across Paris. She was introduced to author Boy Chappelle, Baslan's best friend. He saw her talents and saw her dreams and helped support her second fashion adventure. In 1913, she was able to open a boutique in Devois. It was so successful, she opened a second boutique in Biarritz. In this success, she was able to pay back Boy all the money he gave to help open up these bookshops. World War I came, making good fabric hard to come by. One cold day in Devois, she threw on an old jersey t-shirt and saw a possibility in it, creating her famous jersey suits. In 1918, she established herself as couture, especially after World War I was over. She brought her style into the 20th century, eliminated the corsets, the layers of clothing, and the cumbersome silhouettes, giving ladies the ability to eat and sit without fainting. She started building her empire and a new revolutionary way of dressing, the new femininity. 1921 came around. Chanel number 5 was introduced. She was very superstitious. Number 5 was her lucky number. She also chose it in May, which was the 5th month of the year, and was the 5th scent she chose. She thought 5 will bring success, and it has. A few years later, she came out with her first makeup line, mainly because she was not impressed with the selection of red lipstick that was out there. 1923, on a yacht in Monte Carlo, Chanel was 25, met 2nd Duke of Westminster, Hugh Grosvenor, and had a 10-year relationship with him. This was a big influence in her next venture in women's clothing. She even met Winston Churchill. Coco's famous tweed suit made its way into women's fashion. Duke's British tweed suits that were men inspired Chanel to make women's version of it and still keeping it high fashion. Now in October 1926, the little black dress, Vogue called it the Ford, just like Henry Ford's car. 10 out of 10 women had one, 10 out of 10 women wanted one. This was the dress of the future. She knew it then. 1927, Chanel's first skincare line was introduced. From toners, creams, lotions, and soaps. Truly groundbreaking when it first came out. Silky, light texture, and it smelled good. 1940, World War II broke, and it came to France, almost destroying Chanel's empire. Nazi-occupied France, Chanel got romantically involved with German officer Gunther von Dickloge, who helped her stay in her apartment in the Ritz. In 1945, war was over. Her reputation was damaged in France for collaboration with the enemy. But the American GIs loved her as she gave them all Chanel number 5 to take back home for thanks for liberating France. In 1954, Chanel was asked back. House of Chanel asked her back after the exile, where she went to go live in Switzerland due to her collaboration with her ex-Nazi lover. The deal they offered was they'd cover the living expenses for the rest of her life, so she came home to France and continued flourishing at age 70. 1955, the famous 2.55 bag came out, named after the month it was made, February 1955, the popular 2.55. Chanel's tweed suits are forever infamous, especially Jacqueline Kennedy made it history in photos where she wore the same day our president JFK died. 1971, she passed away, leaving a legacy behind. A woman ahead of her times, a fashionista breaking boundaries in a fashion world once ruled by men who made clothes restricted. She broke through and made clothes simple, fashionable, and able to wear from day until night. May my legend prosper and thrive. I wish it a long and happy life. And this Victorian orphan kid made rich society and the world flock to her feet with her weird modern progressive style of thinking.